Everybody could take their seats, please. Thank you very much for the excellent introduction of music. So let me start by welcoming everybody to this year's Spring Faculty Assembly. I'm Mark Magnuson, you could hardly miss it with that. And as a current chair of the Faculty Senate, I have the honor of convening this meeting today. Today's gathering is intentionally going to be shorter than in the past, and that's for a reason. We want everybody to be focused on the award winners, and we'd also like to have some time at the end to simply talk with your colleagues, enjoy the beautiful spring day, and especially being in person again. So before I turn the microphone over to the Chancellor, there are some items of business that we need to take care of. This is a faculty assembly, and we do need to take one vote. So before I do that, first I'd like to thank the many different people from both VU and VUMC who helped the Faculty Senate function efficiently, who made thoughtful presentations on issues of interest over the course of the year and just did a lot to help us. I'd especially like to thank Vice Chair Ryan Middow, the outgoing chair and Vice Chair Catherine McTamity and Ben Harris, the incoming chair and Vice Chair Rebecca Swan and Elizabeth Catania. The six of us spent numerous hours working on behalf of all Vanderbilt faculty. Everybody contributed their individual insights and opinions, and they were often rather diverse, enabling us to equitably serve as a voice for all Vanderbilt faculty members. I'd especially like to thank the efforts of Stacy McCarty, our office coordinator, who did a huge amount on the behalf of all faculty. Finally, I'd like to thank Chancellor Dearmeyer and Provost Raver, all the other VU and VUMC leaders listed here, for working in a very cooperative manner with the Senate over the past year. We had many very frank and serious conversations on topics of interest and made some really remarkable progress in understanding and viewing our opinions on both sides of any issue. Next, I'd like to thank all the elected and appointed senators. There's 2 slides of them here, too many to mention, and I'm not going to list them by names. Currently, there are 66 elected senators and additional appointed senators. I'd especially like to thank, though, among these people, the 13 people who served as committee chairs and co-chairs. Most of the work of the Senate is accomplished within our standing committees, and these people provided leadership where it really matters, and we couldn't have functioned without them. So, make sure this is right, yes. So, over the past year, the Senate provided a forum for the discussion of items that were selected by surveying all elected senators. In October, we had presentations and discussion on how to improve research and creative expression. In November, we had a focus on education. In December, we talked about the very important role of shared governance at Vanderbilt. In February, we heard from the Task Force on Administerial Effectiveness, followed by comments from the Provost and Vice Chancellor for Administration about their response to it. In March, there was a discussion on a very important issue of student mental health. And finally, next week, at our final meeting of the year, we'll focus on the topic of One Vanderbilt with presentations by Chancellor Dearmeyer and the President of Vanderbilt University Medical Center, Dr. Jeff Balzer. So many of you might wonder, as all thoughtful and concerned faculty do, was there progress made in addressing any of the issues that broadly concern us? My answer to that is a definitive yes. In our regular meetings between the Executive Committee, the Chancellor, the Provost, and other key administrative leaders, they were open and honest, and as I mentioned, we began to talk about some of our longer-term challenges. I believe we are very well situated to make additional progress in the fall. Next year's agenda will be determined by Dr. Rebecca Swan, the incoming chair, and Liz Catania, the incoming vice chair, and I am confident that they will provide excellent leadership. Finally, I'd like to comment on two longstanding challenges of the Senate, and these attracted quite a bit of discussion in the Executive Committee this year. First, the faculty manual. The content of this very important document has ballooned over time and is made even more complicated by the split of VU and VUMC 6 years ago. Moreover, updates are very time-consuming and difficult due to the processes involved, so this needs some special attention in my view. The second is the organization and staffing of the Senate office. The annual transition of the Senate with a switch of leadership every year is a mixed blessing. It constantly brings new opinions, but it also leads to a loss of functional memory in a very short period of time. And the complexity of Vanderbilt has grown. We're now two different institutions, that are legally separate, and staffing of the office has not kept up with all of our needs. So these issues are being discussed with the necessary party. So last August at the Fall Faculty Assembly, I stated the goal of the Senate would be to work cooperatively with our new provost and nearly new chancellor at the time to move Vanderbilt further along a path towards comprehensive excellence. We have made progress towards achieving that goal, very significant progress. To continue making progress, though, I encourage our chancellor and provost to make strategic investments as necessary for faculty to excel. And one would expect that coming from a faculty representative. Furthermore, I encourage the Vice Chancellor for Finance to continue working to address the issues that were raised by the Task Force for Administerial Effectiveness. It was a challenging report, raised some difficult topics, but they are things we need to address. Finally, I'm looking forward to passing the gavel next week to Rebecca Swan, who I've mentioned as the incoming Vice Chair. So that concludes my comments. However, before I turn the podium over to the Chancellor, we have one order of business that requires a vote of the Faculty Assembly. And unfortunately, this will take a little bit of time to work through. The University Faculty Constitution needs to be amended to allow the Vice Chair of the Faculty Senate to make small clerical changes, including formatting, grammatical, spelling, and punctuation changes as necessary to the Constitution. These are not substantive changes to assure that it flows smoothly. And so this is an example of how tedious some of the changes can be, because I'm going to take about 5 minutes to do all of this. So this motion is now before you on the screen, and you can take your iPhone, and that will direct you to a website where you can vote. And the motion was presented by the chair of the Faculty or Senate Affairs Committee in May 6, 2021 at the Senate meeting. This is a motion passed by and proposed by the Faculty Senate to the Faculty Assembly. And as chair of the Faculty Assembly, I bring forward the motion to the Faculty Assembly. Is there a second? Thank you. This motion is in order, having been circulated to the Faculty Assembly on March 29th, 2022, as required by Article 3 of the Faculty Senate Constitution. The motion reads as follows. It is, can be seen on your screen. I'm going to go through it quickly. Whereas insubstantial human clerical errors at time occur in the process of maintaining, updating, formatting the Vanderbilt University Faculty Senate Constitution, and whereas such errors are specifically addressed in Robert's Rules of Order 12th edition, pages 566 to 567, 57, volume 57, 18 to 19, and whereas it is not expedient to occupy the full Faculty Senate with such matters, instead we occupy the Faculty Assembly with such matters, and whereas the Faculty Senate's Constitution as last revised on April 24, 2021 does not currently address these matters, but states in Article 3 amendments may be proposed by any one of the faculties of the several college, schools or colleges, except as otherwise provided in this Constitution. Amendments shall become effective when approved by 2/3 of those present and voting in a meeting of the Faculty Assembly. At least 1 month before the meeting, the members of the Assembly shall be notified in writing, which we have done, whereas the Faculty Senate at its meeting on May 6, 2021 passed a motion by a vote tally of 35 ayes and 0 nays. Be it resolved that the Vanderbilt University Faculty Senate proposes that Article 2B of the Senate's Constitution as last revised on April 24, 2021 be amended by addition to read, Article 2, the Vice Chair of the Faculty Senate shall also serve as the Secretary of the Senate. The Vice Chair serving as the Secretary of the Senate is authorized to correct article and section designations, punctuation, and cross-references, and to make other technical and conforming changes as necessary. Be it further resolved that the passage by the Faculty Senate of this proposed motion to amend the Constitution, which occurred on May 6, 2021, the Senate endorses the immediate circulation of this proposed constitutional amendment to the university's Faculty Assembly. And be it further resolved that this proposed constitutional amendment be placed before the Faculty Assembly at its spring meeting for its consideration and approval. And be it further resolved that per Senate Constitution Article 3 amendments, if notice of the proposed amendment is given to the faculty 1 month in advance, and I'm just going to actually have to skip some of this, the Constitution will be amended effective immediately, and the effective Constitution will be posted on the website. So that is it. Is there any discussion? Having heard no debate, which was the right answer, and seeing no others who wish to speak, I call for a vote on the motion before us to propose the clerical changes in the Constitution can be made by the Secretary of the Faculty Senate. So I call for a vote. Register your vote. Vote aye if you favor passage of the amendment. Vote no if you oppose. And what we'll do is we'll get a tabulation of that and announce the vote total by the end of the meeting. So with that long-winded and probably exceeding my allocated time, I want to move forward by introducing Chancellor Dearmeyer for his remarks. Chancellor.
That was quite a legislative accomplishment here. Good afternoon, and thank you for making time to join us today here, doing what is for all of us a busy time of the year. I first want to thank Mark Magnuson for inviting me to speak today. And I also want to thank Mark and his co-chair, Ryan Middaugh, for their service this year to the Faculty Senate. I also want to extend a warm welcome to incoming chair Rebecca Swan and incoming vice chair Elizabeth Catania. I look forward to working with both of you. The Faculty Senate and Vanderbilt's shared governance model are prime examples of how we pursue our mission here at Vanderbilt. As a university, as a community, committed to and distinguished by our commitment to radical collaboration across colleges and schools, across disciplines, and across the functions of faculty, staff, and administration. This cooperation, this lack of division and silos, is one of Vanderbilt's greatest strengths. It's also a key element of who we are as one university community. It is central to the Vanderbilt way. Many thanks to all of you for your commitment and for the insight and expertise you provide every day as we move our university forward. Our culture of collaboration, so characteristic of Vanderbilt, is also characteristic of our work together as a shared governance. It allows us to openly discuss difficult issues in an atmosphere of mutual trust and respect, dedicated to a common purpose. This commitment to finding solutions together makes our approach to shared governance a model not just for Vanderbilt, but for universities across the country. It's now a little over 2 years since, as a community of faculty, students, and staff, we faced the biggest challenge in our history, and it's time to take stock. Despite the uncertainty we faced over the past year as COVID-19 surged and receded, you all stepped up in remarkable fashion once again. In addition to contributing to an almost universal vaccination rate across Vanderbilt, you once more adjusted, modified your teaching, innovated in teaching and research as circumstances warranted and necessitated. This was difficult and sometimes frustrating, but we did it together in the spirit of working together. Thank you. Today, we seem to be returning to a state more closely resembling normalcy, at least for now. At least that's our cautious hope. 2 years ago, when we started this challenge, we talked about making this crisis our proudest moment. And there's so much to be proud of a little over 2 years later. Vanderbilt has emerged not just intact, but wiser for the experience and stronger than at any time in our history, by any measure. Let's start with you, our faculty. Our Vanderbilt faculty today is our most distinguished and accomplished ever. And through our Destination Vanderbilt initiative, we continue to add renowned scholars, innovators, teachers, and thinkers to your ranks, and to make Vanderbilt a premier center of exploration, innovation, and artistic expression. This year, for example, 7 faculty members achieved the prestigious distinction of being elected as fellows to the American Association for the Advancement of Science, including our esteemed provost, Sibel Raver. And last month, the White House named Vice Provost for Research and Professor of Computer Science, Padma Raghavan, as a member of the President's Committee on the National Medal of Science. At our endowed chair, ceremonies earlier this year, we were honored to celebrate so many of the significant achievements of our faculty. And these are but 3 examples that speak to your accomplishments into the strength and richness of our faculty at Vanderbilt. At the same time, we are enrolling our most qualified and diverse class of undergraduates ever. We're strengthening programs and support for professional, graduate, and postdoctoral researchers. Financially, our university has never been more secure. The value of our endowment now exceeds $11 billion, a new high in our history, and it has grown by more than 2/3 over 2 years. This is more than just an impressively large number. It means funding for research and scholarships, for labs and equipment, for research infrastructure that expands the possibility for exploration and discovery on our campus. Indeed, our research programs have never been more robust. Earlier this month, we announced that together with our partners at Vanderbilt University Medical Center, we have, for the first time in our history, achieved more than $1 billion in annual research funding awarded from external organizations such as the National Science Foundations and the National Institutes of Health. Reaching this milestone affirms our place among the world's most foremost research universities, and your research made that possible. From discoveries in biomedicine and biotechnology to vaccine development, to advances in computer science, education, psychology, and more, the 3,100 external awards you received represented depth and breadth befitting a globally renowned research institution. Among the projects being supported by this funding are an effort to develop monoclonal antibodies that can be rapidly deployed to prevent and treat future pathogens like what we witnessed with SARS-CoV-2, a collaboration with the state of Tennessee and the U.S. Department of Transportation to develop a 6-mile stretch of smart highway along Interstate 24, groundbreaking treatments for pancreatic cancer, and the development of teaching methods to improve math outcomes for those with learning difficulties. These are just a few compelling examples of the discovery and advancement that happens at this wonderful university every day. And of course, discovery and innovation are not restricted to our laboratories. Every day, our faculty and students explore all corners of history, literature, language, art, and more, contributing invaluable knowledge and understanding to the great and never complete mosaic that is humanity's understanding of ourselves and our place in the universe. To all of our scholars and teachers, I say, well done, and congratulations on another year of remarkable work. You continue to make Vanderbilt proud. Of course, higher education is not just a catalyst for innovation, it's also a conduit. And to accomplish this, and to accomplish our impact and engender our impact, there must be permeability between the university and its community. As Nashville continues to boom, and as our city makes definitive choices about what kind of place it wants to be in the coming decades, one way Vanderbilt can play a part is by connecting more of your innovations and insights and research outcomes with local partners, in cultivating the local entrepreneurial ecosystem so that innovators will not only begin ventures here, but stay here and attract other innovators. This is done through the Center for Technology Transfer and Communization and through the Wandery, where earlier this month, Provost Draver and I were pleased to join David Owens in announcing Launch, a new program supporting pre-seed and seed stage venture founders in a broad range of sectors from healthcare to the arts. Launch will house our founder program, which connects startups and projects affiliated with Vanderbilt and other local universities here in Nashville to investors, providing mentorships, and offers guidance in applying for funding and growth. We believe that by investing in ideas born here, across the entire university, and creating the space for them to grow and multiply, we can help advance innovation and impact that will move both Nashville and Nashville's people forward. By applying our knowledge, our capacity for discovery, and our spirit for collaboration, Vanderbilt can help Tennessee's position as a dynamic region that is admired as much for the quality of life as for its economic horsepower. What's more, we can help ensure inclusive prosperity that touches everyone and leaves no one behind. We are doing this in a variety of ways, from bolstering Vanderbilt's contributions to the region's innovations ecosystem, to partnering with local businesses on neurodiverse hiring, and connecting with Nashville area schools and their leaders to bring about greater equity in K-12 education. In the next few years, we will continue to invest and champion your work, to support your research and teaching, listening, Mark, and to continue to establish Vanderbilt as a leading center of discovery for multiple fields. To that end, several of our schools are consulting with top academic leaders from some of our peer universities to undertake external reviews of our systems and practices and approaches, with the aim of ensuring that we're providing the best environment for our faculty to thrive. External reviews bring fresh perspectives and expert feedback that our academic departments can then use to evaluate strengths and opportunities as we raise the bar for our ambitions. We also continue to explore best practices for teaching and innovations in pedagogy, whether they involve pilot testing, new technologies in the classroom, or by supporting additional research and learning opportunities for our undergraduates. As you may have heard me say it often, at Vanderbilt, we're proud, but we're not satisfied. Yes, we have reached important milestones, but at the same time, I firmly believe we have only begun to realize our potential. This task isn't something any of us can accomplish alone, but we can do it together as one Vanderbilt, one university community. Our sense of community is one of our most defining characteristics. But it is important to remember that community doesn't necessarily mean consensus and agreement on everything. The basic purpose of a university is simple. We provide students with a transformative education while providing all of you with an environment that allows you to pursue path-breaking research and creative expression that changes how we see ourselves and the world. This purpose requires a climate in which students and faculty can feel free to ask hard questions, debate complex issues, and challenge conventional wisdom. But, as you know, open inquiry and free expression on campus have come under assault. These threats come from outside of universities and sometimes from within them. As misguided legislation seeks to control what ideas can be taught and discussed, as intolerance of certain viewpoints on campus leads to speakers being disinvited and shouted down, and as some students and faculty keep their opinions to themselves for fear of backlash and censure. This state of affairs is corrosive for a university and antithetical to what we do and stand for. Meaning and maintaining a culture of open discourse and free expression is essential if universities are to fulfill their mission. Vanderbilt's campus must be a proving ground where ideas can be tested and prevailing thought challenged. Because diverse perspectives are the rich soil from which insight and impact grow. Your work can't happen as it should when debate and discussion is stifled, when avenues of exploration are preemptively closed off, when conformity in thought replaces intellectual diversity, when we can't be a place where the better argument prevails. This is why at Vanderbilt, we embrace a long tradition of making our campus a place where open discourse and free expression thrive. Last year, the Faculty Senate passed a resolution committing to provide an environment for open inquiry and the vigorous exploration and free expression of ideas. This Senate resolution reaffirmed our long-standing commitment to open inquiry and free expression, stretching at least to the mid-60s and Vanderbilt's fifth chancellor, Alexander Hurd. Chancellor Hurd was an eloquent defender of open inquiry, free expression, and civil discourse on campus during a time of depolarization and conflict in our country. Today, as in Chancellor Hurd's time, we must be uncompromising in maintaining an environment where free expression and diversity of thought can flourish. One important but often underappreciated way that the university can do this is by maintaining a position of principled neutrality on general political and social matters that do not affect the direct functioning of the university. This important principle has largely been neglected. Many of our peers routinely take political positions while speaking on behalf of the entire university community. They're weighing in on a range of topics that are worthy of concern, but unrelated to the function of a university. I understand this impulse, but I think it's a mistake. When a university takes any position, when it sends a signal that one point of view is preferable over another, it creates, one statement at a time, a climate inconsistent with its purpose, which is not to settle debates, but to foster an atmosphere where students and faculty are free to explore and discuss complex and difficult issues in a culture of civic discourse. Our stance, however, should never be confused with a lack of values. Our university must always proceed from clear values, but its values must be understood as the basis for fulfilling its mission and not as the imposition of a monolithic opinion on the university community. Principled neutrality is simply the exercise of intentional restraint in service of our mission. We owe it to our students and to all of you to protect and encourage open discourse and free expression. We also, importantly, owe this service to society because, as other public forums fall victim to polarization, the academy, our universities, may be the last, best place where American citizens can learn to coexist, converse, and cooperate with people whose views differ from their own. We've come a long way together in just 2 short years, and where we go is up to us. Know that your university honors and is honored by all that you do. Our mission is a noble mission, and Vanderbilt is here to support you and clear the way so that you can succeed at the highest level. I'm proud to work with Provost Raver and with all of you to make that happen. I hope you feel, as I do, that there's no better moment than this one to be part of Vanderbilt's proud history. I hope you agree that the possibilities ahead of us have never been greater, our strength never more numerous, and the need for our work never more urgent. As I stated at our investor ceremony a couple of weeks ago, together we can build not a great university as defined in the college rankings, but the great university for our time and for all the world. One that is true to the ideals of what a university should be, shaped and stewarded by people joined in common purpose and grounded in shared values. As the motto on our university still has it, Crescere Aude, let us dare to grow. And with that, I hope your summer is productive, and if possible, restorative. I look forward to seeing all of you at commencement on May 13th. Thank you. Now comes the best part of the afternoon, because it's time to celebrate our faculty colleagues who have demonstrated profound achievements in service, teaching, and research. These individuals and their accomplishments represent our mission to transform lives to education and a commitment to working for the betterment of humankind. These awards reflect faculty members' dedication to teaching and service to students and our broader community. They also pay tribute to those who helped build this great university, including past Chancellors Joe Wyatt, Alexander Hurd, and Harvey Branscom, Vanderbilt trailblazers Joseph A. Johnson, Vanderbilt's first black graduate, earning his bachelor degree and PhD from the university. University stalwarts like Madison Surratt, who served Vanderbilt as a faculty member and senior leader for more than 60 years, and philanthropic organizations like the Ellen Gregg Ingalls Foundations, which has supported the university for more than half a century. Before I name this year's recipients, I want to thank the Office of Faculty Affairs for managing the in-depth nomination and selection process for the 2 faculty teaching awards, and also note the high level of engagement among faculty Vanderbilt students when it comes to recognizing our outstanding faculty. For this year's 2 teaching awards, the office received over 800 student nominations, with 350 faculty members receiving at least 1 nomination. In the space where students share feedback, 500 nominations include substantial qualitative input. All that is to say, congratulations to all of you, and thank you for your extraordinary commitment to our mission of educational excellence. For a list of previous recipients for each of the following 6 awards, I'll encourage you to visit the Faculty Affairs website, where you will also find a list of this year's recipients. And you can do this not now, but at the conclusion of the event. We will begin with the Madison Surratt Prize for Excellence in Undergraduate Teaching. The honoree for this award is selected based on exceptional classroom teaching and demonstrated commitment to student learning. The recipient receives an award of $5,000 and an engraved pewter cup. I am pleased to present this year's Madison Surratt Prize to Elizabeth Zeckmeister, Cornelius Vanderbilt Professor of Political Science. You can come here, Elizabeth. So the students who nominated Elizabeth applauded the extraordinary level of care she applies to designing highly engaging coursework that sparks academic curiosity and strengthens the research skills of students. They commended her ability to differentiate her teaching to a wide range of learning styles, as well as her high level of consistency in responding to students' individual needs. Professor Zeckmeister's courses focus on Latin American politics, Mexican politics, research design, and comparative political behavior and public opinion. Congratulations, and thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you. Thank you. I will now present the Ellen Gregg Ingalls Award for Excellence in Classroom Teaching, which is endowed by the Ingalls Foundation. The recipient of the award is honored with a cash prize of $5,000 and an engraved pewter cup. The recipient of this year's award is Holly Tucker. Holly is the Mellon Foundation Chair in the Humanities and Professor in French. Holly received numerous nominations for this award, all of which praise her innovative teaching practices along with her role as a mentor. They noted her ability to build strong student relationships and understand the mental health needs of students, particularly during the pandemic. Holly's genuine passion for teaching and learning is clear. As one student said, she makes class an exciting new adventure every time, okay? And I personally can attest to that because I was fortunate enough to visit one of Holly's classes, and it was an adventure for me as well. So thank you, Holly, and congratulations. And now, for the Harvey Branscom Distinguished Professor Award. The award pays tribute to Chancellor Branscom, who led the university for 17 years. Our chancellors have a lot of stamina here. The award comes with a prize of $5,000, an engraved silver tray, and official designation as the Harvey Branscom Distinguished Professor for one academic year. The award recognizes creative research and teaching, as well as service to students, colleagues, and society at large. This year's Branscom Award goes to Jennifer Piedenpoll. Benjamin F. Burr, Jr. Chair in Oncology and Professor of Biochemistry. As a biochemist conducting cancer research, Jennifer has made several paradigm-shifting discoveries during her career, and her work currently received the highest level of NIH funding in her field. She also carries an impressive service load of Executive Vice President for Research and Chief Scientific and Strategy Officer at VOMC, a new role for which she will step down from a long-held position as Director of the Vanderbilt Ingram Cancer Center in June. And I want to do on a personal note, because I attend many of the board meetings, and Jennifer's presentations are always the highlight. The consultative committee were especially impressed with her ability to intertwine her work in various areas so that her scholarship, teaching, and service strengthens one another. Jennifer was nominated by David Cortez and Larry Manette. Many thanks, Jennifer, and congratulations. Well deserved. Thank you. We will now present the Alexander Hurd Distinguished Service Professor Award. The award pays tribute to Chancellor Hurd by recognizing scholarship that solves an important social problem. The recipient carries the title of the Alexander Hurd Distinguished Service Professor for 1 year and receives an award of $5,000 and an engraved silver tray. The recipient of this year's award is Jonathan Gilligan. Jonathan is Associate Professor of Earth and Environmental Science. He doesn't need steps to get on stage. And he is a global leader in climate change threat reduction. A highlight of his important scholarship is his community-engaged research involving farmers in Bangladesh and Sri Lanka, which has identified in his research best practices for sustainable water use, food production, land management in a region of 1.5 billion people facing pressures from climate change. Jonathan was nominated by Stephen Goodbread, Douglas Adams, Michael Vandenberg, and David Hess. Congratulations, Jonathan. Now we'll present the Joby Wyatt Distinguished University Professor Award, which recognizes significant discoveries that bridge multiple academic disciplines. The recipient carries the title of Joby Wyatt Distinguished University Professor for 1 year and receives a $5,000 award and an engraved silver tray. I'm now pleased to present this award to Maury Nelson. There he is. Maury is the Bob Innes Chair in Human and Organizational Development and Professor of Human and Organizational Development. He combines diverse fields and methodologies while collaborating with communities and institutions to influence policies that enhance the lives of youth. He is widely recognized for its academic expertise in bullying and violence prevention, positive youth development, community psychology and neighborhood characteristics, and mental health. He has a reputation for excellence in preparing professionals and scholars for careers in counseling and community psychology, and in partnering with local schools and communities to improve student learning environments. Maury was nominated by Dean Camilla Bembo. Thank you for your vital work, Maury, and congratulations. Our next award is named in honor of Bishop Joseph Johnson, who was the first African American to earn an undergraduate and doctoral degree at Vanderbilt, thereby blazing a critical trail for our students today. It goes to a member of the faculty who has proactively nurtured an academic environment where everyone feels valued and where diversity is celebrated. The recipient carries the title of Joseph A. Johnson, Jr. Distinguished Leadership Professor for 1 year and receives a cash award of $5,000 and an engraved silver tray. Today, I'm honored to present this award to H. Rich Milner. Rich is the Cornelius Vanderbilt Chair of Education and Professor of Education. He is the founder for the Initiative for Race Research and Justice and editor-in-chief of Urban Education. He was recently elected to the National Academy of Education, I like that, and voted as president-elect of the American Educational Research Association. His interdisciplinary contributions have impacted the field of education in several ways, including introducing the Opportunity Gap Framework, constructing the Researcher Positionality Framework, developing the Teachers Race Talk Survey, and advancing a stronger conceptual definition of urban education. In addition to its national impact, which is well regarded for its in-depth teaching and mentoring right here at Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt was nominated by Ebony McGee, Nicole Joseph, and Sandra Barnes. Thank you for enormous contributions, Rich, and congratulations.
Thank you, Chancellor. So before we conclude today's event, I'll ask Ryan Middaugh to call a tally for the vote.
The ayes have it with 87 ayes, 2 nays, and 1 abstention.
Great, the motion passes. I appreciate all of you joining us today, and congratulations to our award winners. I invite you to join us for a reception outside the Student Life Center. It's a great afternoon. Thank you.